All right. Good afternoon, people. I'm flustered.
Why are you flustered? I didn't know you were flustered.
First problem is I lost the key to the A92 somehow.
There's only one?
I have two.
2 keys or 2 cars?
2 keys and 2 cars,
okay.
but I have 2 keys to every car.
Okay.
And the freaking key disappeared. Like when we were loading the car, it's gone. It's driving me insane. And to add worst matters, the freaking garage door closed on my car. Just freaking comes shooting down. Smashed off the rear spoiler.
This is
So
the new one?
No, the old
Old one. Okay, the giveaway car. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's all starting to happen. Like, you might as well just drive it off a cliff.
Just light it on fire.
Can't get it. Yeah, it's like the car's worth $500,000 now, and it hasn't. There's been a problem with the thing from day one. Now all of a sudden, other than the water spots. Actually, no, this car's been kind of cursed because I melted the rear bumper when I was trying to get the water spots off, and anyway, I'm trying to keep it together. Keeping it together right now. So I freaking start smashing stuff. But I don't understand where this key went. It was in my pocket. We loaded the car on the trailer with that key.
On Wednesday for track day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden the key is gone.
But
it was
at the track.
Well, no, I didn't use that key. I used my spare key.
Okay.
So the key fell out of my pocket somewhere. But between I was looking for the key like right after we loaded it. So I just assumed I dropped it in the RS or something when I was climbing out of it, and it's not in there. I'm going to try again, move the seats around and see if I can find the frickin' thing. It's not in the M3 because if the M3 would turn on.
It would start if it were in there.
But like I didn't lose it like at home or in the garage. Like it was in my pocket, and now then it wasn't. So the only place it could be is the RS. I got to look harder. But I did look pretty hard. But it's driving me berserk.
Yeah.
If anybody finds that key,
is there a reward?
I'll be happy. No reward, but I'll be happy instead of unhappy. Nobody wants.
That's all the reward we need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we have the very first thing. This will cheer you up. From Dylan Tarleton, who must be somewhere in Europe, because he says, "Good evening, Matt and Chris. This has been the longest 2 weeks ever without you. I'm starting to go through withdrawals. Don't do me like that anymore, please. That is all."
What was I doing last week?
You were at the house. We were going to do it from your garage last week.
Yeah,
that was the plan.
Too much. We were doing the photos to list the house for sale. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Gotcha.
Not doing it.
So people missed us. And it was our 3-year anniversary of doing the podcast last week, and you missed it. There was a big party planned. And,
who cares? It's about as important as your birthday is to me.
Well, think about it. 3 years ago, we had me, you, Bryce, and Ted and your parents. I think that was it. Mm-hmm. And now we've grown quite a bit since then. Now we have Jeff in here and Toto in here and more guys next door. So a lot will change in these next 3 years, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. AFH says he's super excited about the new house. Never felt like the Harper Hills house was right. This new place seems much more your style.
Well, it's funny. We can kind of explain that. It's not my style because it's a garbage house, right? It's garbage built. It's nice. It's got all the nice things that you can see, but the things that you can't see, which is what I think is important, is really janky. So that was where I was torn. But it's got the square footage is what we need. That's the clear thing. I need square footage. I need it to stand for 2 years and 2.5 years, and then we can get out of there. It's 2019 built, so that's good. But, it's like... It's nice. It's going to be even nicer when I get my freaking hands on it. Michelle said I'm only allowed to do 4 things. I'm going to do 40 things. You'll see.
40.
40, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 400
I was going to say, I'd lock you in at 40. I'm happy with that. Let's see. Dominic wants to know, did you see Pan's recent life story, how he got into YouTube channel?
No, I didn't. No.
I haven't seen that. All right. Hey, Matt, I found out the VW Touareg R has an option to select Dyne Audio Consequence speakers for the car. Have you looked into Dyne Audio car stereos? Can they even touch something like the OG Civic build?
Yeah, well, I had Dyne Audio in my Civic, and so I've done Dyne Audio, Isotar and Isotech in different cars in the past. So yeah, that's what I had in my original Civic. I actually had Dyne Audios back in 2001. So yeah, I love them. That's why I like Dyne Audio so much, is from the car stereo realm.
Let's see, we have a super chat, $10 US from Improved Garage. He wants to know what kind of info we have on the E92 giveaway. What products will be eligible? Is there any new apparel? Can I buy raffle tickets for more entries? Is the Viper chair eligible? And so on.
All right, so what we're doing is we're mirroring the detail section, and we're mirroring the apparel section. Instead of having it just special items, it's everything in detailing. No pressure washers, no garage stuff. Because then that skews it. Maybe we'll do that in the future, but that skews it. And that you buy an array of cabinets, then you kill anybody who bought a T-shirt, or your odds have gone way up. And so what we're doing is we'll have the main, like the regular detailing, the regular apparel sections of the site up at the regular price. Then if you want to enter into the giveaway, it's somewhere between $5 and $25 as added on to the price of various items in detailing. Again, Crenseless won't count. Pressure washing actives, that stuff won't count. But everything to do with detailing and everything to do with apparel. And then we have some other cool, interesting things like keychains and some other tchotchkes and things like that have high margin to hopefully convince people to buy. The other thing we were able to lock in this year is virtual and then in-person raffle tickets. So you don't want any of that crap. You don't want anything. You just want to support the cause and get a chance to win. We'll have raffle tickets from $50 to $250 or something like that virtually. And then I don't know what the raffle tickets are going to be. If maybe $50. I don't know what the guys have decided. $25 or something like that. And so if you bought a raffle ticket, if you bought a $25 raffle ticket, you'd have 5 entries. For every $5 spent. So this time we're kind of opening up, say, half of the store, so that way people can buy what they want, not what we've decided they're going to get. And then maybe in the future we'll do one based on tool purchase and things like that. So we'll come up with some different things in the future. We are going to do, maybe March or April, maybe May. We're going to do like an OG Master Collection giveaway for Milwaukee. So we do like a master collection setup, and that obviously you'd buy various tools, and it's how you get an entry or something like that. So, so that's what we're doing this time, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, and then Gary wants to know: will there be any packages as there have been in the past, like the P&S package or stuff like that?
Well, most of it's going to be you just buy what you want, and so you could create your own package. We'll have some, but like you can buy the car washing package, you can buy the the decon package, you can buy the anything to do with detailing, the polishing package. And so all those packages were in the past, we just add up the price and then add a markup to it. So it's the same thing. The nice thing, I would prefer it this way. I didn't know we could do it. Well, apparently we could have done raffle tickets the whole darn time. The advantage here is that we can, people can do whatever they want.
And is it eligible for Canadians?
Yep.
Except for Quebec, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So Imlee, if you were in Quebec, then no. But if you're anywhere else in that lovely country, then you are eligible. Including Philippe Champagne from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. All right, let's see here. Obsessed Garage, Dan Pfeiffer says, hey, Obsessed Garage, what's next for the OG store? Any new items?
Yeah, the audio solutions should be up here soon. We're sort of mobilizing, and we've sort of repositioned the team here at OG to get more efficiency on product creation. I sat down with Tommy the other day, and I compared it to, we have Dyne Audio, we have PSB, we have Milwaukee accessories, we have all these Milwaukee stuff. So it's like we have a credit card balance. Right, we have a credit card balance, so we have a bunch of debt, and what you don't do is you don't go to college and go improve yourself and fix things and borrow more money, and fix things that don't contribute directly to paying off the debt. And so our debt is that we need to get the products created. It's what people want. It's what we need to do. And then we can fix the warehouse and fix other little tweaks on the website and things like that. But in the meantime, we need to mobilize our entire force, our entire ability at paying off debt. And you pick off little debts in the beginning, and then you pay off the next one. And so our debt to the world, to society, as well as to our our inventory roles. I've invested in a lot of these products, and everybody, our entire team is kind of working on a bunch of stuff, but not the most important thing, which is to pay off debt. And so our debt to society is to create these things. And so the next thing, before I go on to the next one, the next thing is to finish the projects that we haven't completed, which I've been talking about forever. Milwaukee, audio, and then we're heading into lighting.
So there you go, Dan. A couple people here are asking about the interior of your gentleman's spec. Did you decide on Cognac or Cohiba, or have you made up your mind yet?
I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to stick with Cognac.
All right, Chad and somebody else here in the chat were asking if you saw Adam LZ's new car. I guess, what did you get here? A GT something? Did you see that? A GT3?
Yeah, I talked to him about it before we bought it. So, yeah, I memean, you're sort of torn on what do you do? Do you trade an RS for a GT3? And so he made a bunch of money doing the deal. He'll probably, I don't know if he'll make money on the purple car in the future, but if he gets lucky, he'll be able to get out of that. And he could have made more money selling his car privately, likely, but it worked out in that the 992 is a great car.
So that's one of the paint to sample colors there? Is that what that means?
Yeah, but purple. It's not really paint to sample because that was the color last year, but it is paint to sample in the current generation of the GT3, yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, Philippe has a good idea, one of our Canadian buddies. Matt, you got to make an OG spec for us Canadian friends, a hex nut with a maple leaf. Oh. We'll see about that. That's a good idea. Speaking of which, did you see this, by the way? Mm-hmm. That's pretty sweet. This is a little tchotchke that Matt probably doesn't like, but it's going to be eligible for the giveaway. It's 5 pins. There's the hex, there's the Mosmatic spray gun, press-all bottle, the wand, and a foam cannon. So that's kind of cool.
And I'll say no one's going to buy that, and we'll sell 10,000.
Yeah, we ordered, I forget how many we ordered. I think it's a smallish quantity, so they'll probably all be gone. And
yeah.
That's how it goes. All right, let's see. Neil says, hey, Matt, I see that OG sells miter and table saws. Mm-hmm. Are you into woodworking at all? I recently purchased a Milwaukee miter saw and didn't realize that OG sold them.
No, but it's one of those things that I think every real man should have, or at least aspire to have, right? And so I had bought a DeWalt miter saw when I bought that the 5-acre the Woodgate house, and used it on many different instances, and then when I decided I was going to carry Milwaukee, I would love to have a battery-powered one. And so it's one of those things that I don't use very often, but when you need it, it's so handy to have. And so when I was building the wash bay, I think when I bought the miter saw, it might even have been before that. It might have been at the Brown house I bought the miter saw. But having a miter saw, I think, is like a real man's dream. Maybe I bought that back in the Claremont house. I'm not sure. Anyway, the miter saw and the table saw, I've used the table saw a bunch already, doing different things. So it's two of those things that sort of round out the 45 tool master collection that I think that everybody, whether you're a real man or not, you want to have you'll find a use for it.
Jeff G wants to know, he says, hey, afternoon, gents, any recommendations for an OG spec wall mount tire rack?
Yeah, actually, the new lift system that we have can serve as an amazing tire rack. Or you want the tire rack. If you want a fixed stationary one for the wall, you just buy the one from Tire Rack, their branded version. But what we're working on is Tab's going to make us a actual clamping tire rack for the lift, so you can motorize it up and down. You can do 2 layers of it. It's going to be pretty sweet. All
right, let's see here. Oh, more Canadians. Man, the Canadians are out in force today.
All right. Canada's so disappointing. I mean, yeah. I think that there's we're not getting there this year. I can pretty much guarantee that. You guys have got to vote out these morons that are ruining your freaking great country. Just ruining the whole thing. Like, what are they doing? Why are you guys walking around wearing masks and not going anywhere? Like, what do you think's going to happen? It's freaking crazy. We haven't done any of that since March, second week of March. We're done with that. Stop this nonsense. I'd love to come to Canada, but forget it. It's just I'm not freaking building my company in some place that's going to take it from me. It's so stupid. Gosh.
Did you read that news article that somebody sent you? The little humorous. Yeah, I read that too.
Yeah, according to you Canadians, like Florida is like the wild, wild west. No, we're just living our lives instead of act like a bunch of freaking babies. it's unbelievably stupid. So help me understand this. So I'm supposed to go to this home builders show. So
in Florida,
right? So in order to go there, everybody has to have a vaccine.
Okay.
But the vaccine doesn't preclude you from getting the disease.
Helps to manage the symptoms, I think, is the
that's the latest. That's the latest
right.
watered down version. So it doesn't help you to get it. Like you can still get it.
Right. The flu shot doesn't stop the flu.
Then you can still transmit it. So why in a group of people would you require that if it doesn't stop transmission or catching it? What's the methodology here? Like, what is it supposed to do? I understand the concept now is that you used to do, maybe you don't go to the hospital and maybe you don't die as much. I mean, not as many people die that have it. I understand that concept, but what does that have to do with a group of people? And what does that have to do with protecting an audience? Why would you require it? It makes absolutely no sense. I can understand you get a measles vaccine. Then no one's getting the measles. But yet, if you're vaccinated for something that doesn't protect you against the thing, what is the point? So just stop. Just stop it all. Just let it go. And we'll all be just frickin' fine. Gosh, it's so unbelievably stupid. I can't take it anymore. I think people are finally giving up on, all right, we were compliant for long enough. I was compliant for, a week. I'm not doing it anymore. So unbelievably stupid.
So sorry, Canada. That's the long.
I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Kevin says, I love my Dyne Audio ceiling speakers with the Node. I just got Tidal, Tidal, thinking of getting Zeo since they're versatile and wireless. How high quality sound can I expect with Tidal and Zeo speakers?
Well, in order to get any quality, you would need to add a node to Zeo. So you need the Blue Sound node because Zeo will only accept Bluetooth.
We said he got the Dyne Audio ceiling speakers with the Node.
Mm-hmm. So well, you need another node.
Another one? Okay.
You need another node with Zeo. I guess you could probably, if it was in the same room, which it may or may not be, you could plug the node in and just go optical out and just switch back and forth. You might be able to. So he must have a power node with his in-ceiling speakers, so that wouldn't work. You need another node for Zeo, and then you would do 24-bit, 192 kilohertz. Now, one of the deficiencies of Zeo is that it will accept that signal, but it will downsample to 24-bit 96 kilohertz because that's the signal it sends from left to right speaker. And so you would technically not be full high res, but you wouldn't notice the difference between 96 kilohertz and 192 kilohertz. Unless you were just really had a really well-treated room and you spent a lot of time going A/B back and forth. You might want to wait. I mean, the Zeo stuff is probably not long-lived. That they have some really cool stuff on the horizon that would have been out already if we didn't have supply chain issues. If we weren't so worried about getting everybody if something doesn't frickin' work. So the rest of the world is freaking out and still have the same problems that we have in Florida.
All right, Dr. Speedy says he ordered an X-Drive G80 M3 for my daily driver in Tanzanite blue with full black leather with the carbon buckets. How did you like the carbon buckets in the new M3?
Yeah, I like them. I mean, I didn't spend an extended period of time, and you're going to have to really manage, getting in and out. And you're going to have to be meticulous about your passengers and how they get in and out so you don't jack up the bolsters. But they're pretty darn comfortable. I like them a lot. I think they look great. As long as you don't get them in one that's crazy like that blue color. But yeah, I think they're great.
All right, David, our buddy in Alabama, says, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm working on an AV project and would like to know Matt's preferred wire loom and speaker cable. Thanks.
Crap, I can't remember the company. I'll have to get back to you on that. There's like one company that's like the standard. What I've been doing is just buying, like monoprice, speaker wire, CI rated, decent stranded in-wall cable. But there's a company that I'm planning on using for my house. I just can't remember the name of it. That makes the very best, in-wall CI rated, custom install rated speaker wire.
All right, Dan says, hey, Matt, I just picked up a set of polished CCW wheels. What process and products would you suggest to clean them up and polish?
Yeah, I'm not an expert in dealing with raw wheels. I'm only an expert in messing with paint. That expert term is debatable, depending on who you talk to. But I think I don't know what I would do with just bare metal. I mean, you're going to need some sort of metal polish, maybe mother's metal polish. But most coatings aren't going to stick to that. So I'd probably do Dr. Beasley's metal coat on them after I'd polish them up and sort of clean them off well with an isopropyl alcohol, do carburetor eraser on them, and then put the metal coat from from Dr. Beasley's is probably what I'd do. And then I would just use brake buster on them. Should be fine.
Let's see here.
Actually, you know what? I probably wouldn't use brake buster. I would probably go and use GSF. Just use car soap.
James says, any updates on the hats? Was added to reserve your spot with my purchase. Just curious what the update is on that.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Richardson Supply, so we're waiting on them to get in stock. I need some new ones, so I'm waiting too.
And the reserve your spot email is coming soon, James, where we address as much as we can during those. Let's see. TJB says, hey, Matt, can you share some insight on arriving at your asking price for your house? Market comparables, how much you put in upgrades. I'm sure you'll get it. Just curious, as we are also selling soon.
Yeah, I looked at houses around. There's a very similar house to mine. It had a pool and an RV garage, but it was like, grandpa spec inside. It was the same exact model. So it had some substantial upgrades. That one sold about 6 months ago for $805. There's another house that's similar to mine that's listed for sale that will certainly sell from the builder for $770. And then I just created a spreadsheet. I added up what I spent on mine. So I spent $796,000 on the house, and so I rounded up a bit because it's much nicer and much better. I don't know that it's going to appraise. It's probably appraised for sevens, low 7, if that. So somebody's going to have to want it. And it only takes one person to want it, and somebody's going to want it, I think. I'm surprised we haven't had any. Oh, wait, what she said? What's Lena saying there?
Should be next week.
For what?
Permit closeouts.
Oh, that's for the new house. I wonder if she was saying we have showing. No one's come to look at it yet. I did have a call from a follower who's interested in it. It's one of those things that the right person, you can add up what it takes to do that house. That's what it takes. And then dealing with all the pain of the homeowners and all the crap that you have to do. So that's how I came up with it.
All right, Noe wants to know, how is the track day? Is it something you could get into?
No, God, no. That's a once every 3 years kind of thing. It's fine. I just don't understand why you guys. I do. Let me rephrase it. I do understand. I just don't need, additional adrenaline. It's just not that. It works parasitically for me. That feeling you get out of the car and you got kind of that shaky, that post adrenaline response, which. Some people that works in a very positive sense for them. For me, it's very negative. I don't need any stimulus to have an adrenaline response. So, but it did what I wanted it to do, which was to just kind of get me in an uncomfortable zone behind the wheel, so that way hopefully I can continue to improve my ability to go out and drive around on the public roads. And we're going to go to the mountains as well. I mean, that's my ultimate goal. That's all I care about. Is I'd love to be able to drive around wherever I wanted to drive to locally, and then go to the mountains. And I haven't been able to do that for a year and a half or so. And even before that, I would do it, but I would just white knuckle it. And I want to try to, not try, but I want to get to the point where I can go where I want to go and do what I want to do.
So was there any difference for you? This is a question from me, not from anyone. So you had me, you had your mom, you had Jeff in your car with you. Mm-hmm. Was that good or bad? Did that help?
Yeah, it was good. The only part I struggle with on the track is the straightaway. I start to, the very first couple of times, I would be second guessing. Am I all right? I mean, what's going on? Am I freaking out? So then every time I went around a lap, I would I'd be second guessing my second guessing. But other than that, it was fine. And that was one of the things I wanted to get some passengers in the car. And just and help me get my frickin' mind right. It's all irrational thoughts. So mission accomplished there, and it will go back again. But it's not something I'm going to do all the time. It's just not. It's not a lot of fun to me. So I was there for a purpose, which was to just go out and hear the exhaust and whine the car out. And like I didn't even really need to do cool down laps because I wasn't aggressively braking and stuff like that. It's a fun little track though.
Yeah, it was fun. I think the guys, all the yarn building guys that went, they had a good time as well. I think
it's cool. I mean, how many times in your life you have an opportunity to have the track all to yourself and go out as many times as you want, and you can go around it backwards if you want to. It's pretty cool.
All right, we go back to the house for just a second. Manny has a question that one of our customers, Hank, sent in.
Mm-hmm.
He can't watch the podcast live. He's working, claiming to be working at this time. What is the model number on the new desk at your temporary house? It is legit. Do you remember?
Ooh,
I brought up.
It's a Restoration Hardware.
Yes, I went.
Yeah, it's
any
part
of
of that
those.
line. Go up.
Up.
It's part of that line on the right, the French panel. But it's a sectional desk. So it's part of that. But no, it can't be that because the whole desk was $3,000. There it is.
That,
yep,
right?
yep. St. James modular corner desk. Yeah, see, it was $3,500 if you remember, and so I bought it in that exact configuration right there. St. James modular corner desk with 3-drawer utility and 2-drawer lateral file cabinet. It's nice, Restoration Hardware desk.
Yeah, so Hank, if you go to Restoration Hardware and search desk, it's down there on the right.
And it was part of the reason I bought it is it was in the in stock list.
Gotcha. All right, more home emails there. There's Jono's Best. He also got a paint a sample car, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
What color is that?
I think it's
like
dark green olive or something like that, or green olive green.
It's a nice color. All right, let's see here. Hey, Matt, are you towing the new ATC trailer with the Raptor? Or are you getting a large diesel truck?
Yeah, the Raptor wouldn't tow that.
Yeah,
Mike's
heavy.
towing it. That was part of the deal. Is that like Mike, I'll buy you a trailer basically if you'll tow it. And so we'll have a video coming out soon. It's a 3/4 ton truck, and what loaded is probably 13,000 pounds. The trailer's just under 7,000, and then if you have two 3,500 pound cars in there, Mike sort of fabricated and put a weight distribution, a safe weight distribution hitch. So it tows really nicely, and I followed behind it when we were coming home, and it looks like it's legit.
Let's see. Nate wants to know, with hi-fi turntables coming back, do you have any suggestions for 2.1 tuner, receiver, speaker setup for living room record listening?
Yeah, I mean, if you would do some sort of, one of the NAD digital analog converters, so you would do, and ultimately you do an M33, which is $5,500. But if you're not balling that hard, and you kind of work your way down the line, you could do an M10. Below that, you could do a C399. A C399 would be really awesome with a turntable. I think $399 is like $2,200 or something like that. And so all you would need is your turntable. And then you would need, it's basically an integrated amplifier. It has an amp, a preamp, and it has, a phono stage. And then you choose your speakers, like, Evoke 50s, like floor standings, or maybe Evoke 20s or something like that would be cool. The Special 40s would be awesome. So, in a perfect world, I'd have a turntable, a pair of Special 40s, and an NAD M33 or a C399 would be amazing.
Herbert wants to know, hey, Matt, I'm sure you will say to get it anyway, but do you think the CR Spotless is worth getting when you already have a reverse osmosis system installed in your house?
Yeah, definitely, and it'll function much, much better. Now, if you have a whole home RO system, that's probably pretty sophisticated. Generally, you would have a whole home softener, an iron breaker, and you would have an RO system that would only treat like your main water faucet. Because reverse osmosis is a slow process. So you can't run, substantial GPM flow through an RO device unless it's really substantial. So generally, like if you were car washing with RO, you would have a separate tank, and so you'd fill that tank, and then your DI system would pull from the reverse osmosis. So, any kind of home filtration you will benefit from because you're making the water completely devoid of minerals. Whereas RO or like a carbon filter, or they're generally removing calcium and chlorine, but there's still some mineral content left over. So you're gonna bring it down to say 80, 70, 80 parts per million, mineral content down to 0, and so it'll make the CR operate much better. Wait till you see what we're working on. We're coming out with an Obsessed Garage version we're developing an Obsessed Garage version of a deionizing system. It will be much more expensive in the upfront than a CR, but because of how we're going to be delivering our zero ppm TDS rating or treated water, you'll see it's going to be freaking awesome. The other thing our system is going to do is it's also going to diagnose the quality or the health of your pressure washing system. So it's going to read incoming flow and outgoing flow, as well as incoming TDS and outgoing TDS. And so it's going to be a really sophisticated monitoring system that, let's say you had a Krenzla and your check valves are starting to go out and you're having an issue and you're normal seeing 1.9 gallons per minute flowing, and then now it's dropped to 1.4, you'll know that you've got to diagnose a problem with your pressure washer or pressure washing system.
We got a super chat from Robert Blair up in Canada. $6.99 Canadian. Is Wolf's trim coat coming back to the store, or are you using something else for rubber now?
Yeah, we never had trim coat. You want to use some CSL XO. You could do just XO if you wanted to.
Let's see here.
Oh, here we go. TJB, you freaking pansy. A lot of people aren't around to say, freaking shut your face. That's anything. Driving down the road, that's living life. It's part of life. Why would you want to waste 3 years of your life sitting there staring at a wall? It's stupid.
Manny.
Shut your mouth.
Manny, going back to your home audio, is it OSD audio that you were thinking of? That's what Manny's asking.
What? No,
for the fancy in-wall wires and such? Or no?
Yeah, OSD Audio is another. No, that's not the company. No. OSD Audio makes some in-wall wires, but it's not fancy.
Gotcha. Dev wants to know, any tips for using nanoskin for the first time?
Just do it on the glass first, so you break it in. So they even say, so it says it all over the package. So you want to break it in first, and then do the paint. You can't use too much lube. Just use all kinds of clay lube, and using 914 is what I've been using lately. It's diluted in a clay lube. I think 128:1 is the dilution, and yeah, just you don't need to add pressure, so you don't need to lean into it. You just let the thing do its job.
All right, let's see. Canon wants to know, will the E92 be getting BPS FIR Evos? That's a lot of letters.
No, I don't think so. I don't want to run a spacer.
All right, Philip says, I'm looking for a GT3 RS in the next couple of years. I'm thinking of getting a 997.2 3.8 or a 991.2. Mm-hmm. What would be your choice if you had to keep it for the next 20 or so years?
Yeah, I mean, good luck on a 997. I mean, you're going to pay $380, $400 for that thing. So I think unless you're balling that hard, I think a 991 is going to be what you're going to have to chase. And now those are, Adams just sold for $300, so those are $250 and up. Yeah, I mean, I think the collector is the 997, but time will tell. The more practical, more useful car is the 991. You can use it everywhere, and it's remarkably better than a 997.
Let's see. Joe says, I noticed that the air inflators, I'm guessing Milwaukee air inflators, dropped off the RYS list last week. Any update? Yep, we have them now.
Yep, the Acura ones. Yep.
Oh, those inflators. Sorry, I was thinking the Milwaukee ones. So yeah, we got all the Acura inflators in stock briefly. So if your order had something else that you're waiting on, that might be what's holding up. You can email support. CJ has a good question. Now that you have set up multiple desks, do you like the L shape, the U shape, or a straight desk?
Yeah, I think my favorite is L-shaped. It's the most functional. The U shape, like that restoration desk, is a lot harder to wire things. It's not my preference. So I like this setup, the uplift L-shaped style.
All right, let's see. C-Mac wants to know, and a couple of people asked about this on Facebook and Instagram as well. When it comes to the pressure washer giveaway, is there a certain time or date they should be ready to answer their phone? Have we nailed that down yet?
We'll announce it. It'll probably be, we'll probably do it maybe on the podcast. What's the end of the month? So that's Monday, right?
And Monday's the 31st.
Yeah, maybe we should just do it on Friday.
Okay, so Friday the 4th.
Yep.
So next Friday, regular 2 p.m.-ish time?
Yep.
Okay, so there you go.
That'll give them time to compile the data, and we can do the random number generator, and we can do it live. And remember, we're going to call. If you don't answer, call the next person. We'll draw another one. Call them. They don't answer. Call the next person. They don't have a garage or a suitable situation. Sorry about your luck. On to the next person. They have a garage. We're going.
There you go. So if you don't have a garage, that gives you 1 week to buy a garage.
Yep, and we've explicitly sort of spelled out those rules and in the rule list, whatever.
All right, let's see here. M. Lee says, "Hey Matt, do the PSB active speakers work well for a set of desktop speakers?"
Desktop for his computer.
I think that's what he's talking
yeah, I mean you could. You just go into the headphone jack. It will work just well. It will work just fine.
All right, let's see. This is from John Bartlett. What's your experience like so far with the Whoop strap? Just got my 4.0 after waiting almost 5 months from when I placed my order.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm not sure what it's doing for me. It's kind of cool to check your sleep, and to me, it's sort of like an accountability bracelet, if you will, to stay on track. Yeah, I mean, I like it, but I don't know what it's doing to help me all that much, other than just an accountability thing.
Let's see here. Christopher Deedy wants to know, hey, good afternoon. Is the K700 TST the same as the wall-mounted unit that you put in the Atlanta garage?
Yeah, that is the KW700. Yeah,
it was supposed to be the 1200, but that didn't work out. So.
Yeah, the 1200 is 3-phase, and we thought we had 3-phase, but we didn't have 3-phase. They were going to do a three-phase converter, and Mike says the 3-phase converter doesn't work with a pump like that, and so we had to bring my KW700, and now I'm still waiting for mine to come. So yeah.
All right, Matt in the chat says, hey Matt, what do you recommend for 18-inch depth base cabinets in the same price tier as Sabre? Looking for a 4 to 6 drawer configuration.
I don't know that there is an 18-inch deep cabinet that I'm aware of. Like the Sabres are 19.7. Not Sabre. The Sonics are 19.7 feet or inches deep. I don't know, man. I don't know of one. I mean, maybe you could figure out something Lista, but those are going to be 3 times or 2 times the price of Sabre. Yeah, I don't know of anything that we could do that's that shallow.
Let's see. Our friend Jamie in the UK says, hey guys, Matt, you're a bad influence. Just secured a one-owner E92 M3 with low miles. 10,000 miles, not as low as yours. It's in the Santorini blue color. What are your thoughts on that color? What's this one?
Yeah, I don't like baby blues. But it's kind of cool on an E92.
That doesn't look like the same color.
Everybody likes baby blue, so that's, I'm the only idiot who doesn't like it. They like it on the, Yas Marina. They like it in Mexico, Riviera. All the baby blues are like the most sought after. So, certainly a sought after color. I just don't like it.
He's got the wheel letter things on that one.
I probably don't like it because everybody else likes it. But, on an E92, it wears it well for sure.
All right, here's a good question from Jack. Hey, Matt, what things are you looking forward to or doing differently on the interim house that is replacing the interim house before the house that you build?
Well, I'm going to do less, theoretically. We'll see how quickly and how deeply we get into the the real house, the destination OG, number 1, the Mormon compound. So that'll dictate, how quickly, and how well we do this spring will dictate how quickly we transition into chasing the destination OG, my custom home. But it's very clear to me the direction of where we're heading to provide end-to-end solutions, leading with the garage. Somebody brought up a good point that, well, maybe you should name it something different if you're going to have a sister company that's that's dedicated or focused on the home, and the structure of the home. To me, it doesn't. I mean, the Destination OG explains that the obsessed garage, or the garage, is the anchor for me of the house. It's the biggest investment or the biggest allocation of the house. I spend more money on the garage than I do on a kitchen. And the kitchen would be the second most expensive section of the home. And so to me, we lead with the garage, and the garage then transfers, or we enter into the garage. When you get home, you come through the garage. And so Destination Obsessed Garage, it seems to really resonate with me anyway, and hopefully it'll resonate with the world. But we'll see how it goes on how much I do to this house. We're gonna paint the exterior. I need to make the driveway, the pad, a little bigger. So that'll be the first couple of things we do. We need to do some closet organization. I'm gonna do Hayfula organization all over the place. So we use this house as a guinea pig for that. I'm probably going to also, figure out how to do Radio RA2 Select, which is Lutron control for that house. So I'm going to use this house for figuring things out. We'll create linear fixtures in the garage. We're going to put the lift, the bike lift in there, and just continue to chase, learning some different things with this place. But this one will be focused not on getting the house set up, but getting on, individual projects that I need to create some content and gather some more data and do some more research on.
Malcolm S. says, did you install the Auto Solutions shifter in the M3 yourself? I have one, but I'm afraid to do the install myself.
No, but I have done them before. It's not too bad. It just depends. You have to drop the drive shaft out, I think, in order to get there.
I got a Facebook question here from Josh Verdeek. I think you'll like this one. Without sounding like a thread on a Corvette forum, asking which white New Balances to buy. What are the best water-resistant / waterproof shoes for car washing?
Well, I've tested out a few of them. One would be the Nike Pegasus All-Weathers, I think they're called. I also got Pegasus Gore-Tex. I tried those as well. They both do pretty well. Both are a little ugly, but they're comfortable and have kept my toes from getting all wet. So those are really the only two. And I mean, the other company I think to look into would be Salomon, Salomon, I think it is. Those, hiking shoes. Because they have Gore-Tex versions, but those are generally uglier and not as comfortable.
Let's see. Shane on Facebook from Australia says, hey, Matt, just wanted to know if you have a solution. I bought a new car, had a ceramic coating put on the whole car. In the heavy rain, when putting on the wipers, I'm getting a window judder. Any tips or advice on fixing this issue?
Well, I mean, I'd polish the glass, and then I would do Wolf's, glass sealant on it, and then, what you can do is then put the glass sealant on the wiper blades if it's still, shuttering like that. And then if that doesn't work, try some different types of wiper blades, because that's really annoying.
Let's see. Somebody asked if the AR custom install at your current home was on the channel. I think it is.
We haven't
done that yet?
No.
Okay. And will that be coming then? That's
yes.
Okay.
Yep. I need to do the voiceover for it.
Gotcha. Let's see. Pernille on Facebook says, do you know what the length of the Ego Stubby is?
Nope.
I don't know. That's a good question. And will you be testing the McKee's 37 graphene rinseless wash?
Definitely not.
Has the word graphene in it, so chances are slim there.
Yeah, 100% never.
Oh, Lee Martinez asked about the AR630, so that video is coming. Jeff wanted to know what the next wash and talk is. It's going to be coming.
I got to do something this weekend. It's going to be cold as crap, though. So I got to wash every car needs to get washed. Every one that I got.
It's supposed to be like 18 degrees here on Saturday morning, so be ready for that. I asked Mike, Soothe and Relax wants to know from you. He asked Mike when he was on a couple weeks ago, what is your go-to brake lubricant, if you have one?
Brake for what?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
All right, give me more info. Mike answered it pretty quickly, so I guess he
talking
assumed something.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Let's see. Stint Placer wants to know about the basic shirts. Yep, we have more there at the screen printer now being printed, so I'm not sure exactly when it is, but that's the deal with those. And somebody asked on Instagram about the hoodies. Those just shipped from Storm Tech. They actually got them in stock.
Nice.
So those are probably a month or so out because they got to get to the screen printer and get printed. Uh-oh.
I like it when people tell me to stay in my lane. You want to have a debate? I'll freaking run circles around you. Dork.
Save that for a couple weeks from now on. I'll be gone. You can have a debate. Let's see. Hey, Matt. Dang it. Where'd it go? There it is. It's time for you to add an E60 M5 to the collection. What's your beef with the best BMW ever made? Haha. Thanks for all you guys do.
Yeah, that just was never a car for me. That was in my early 20s. That's an old man car. And it was funny. No one wanted that car when it was new. It was terrible. It was just so much money, and didn't perform very well. But I don't know. I don't like the look of that car. It's a little too round, and a little bit too big, for its roundness. I just never loved it. I mean, the engine's cool, I guess, but it just wasn't a car that I was interested in. It's cool. I get why people like it. It's just not one I've really ever desired.
Let's see. Our buddy Jeff out in Oregon agrees with your suggestion for Nike shoes. We're both wearing Nikes today, Jeff. You'd be proud.
Oh yeah, I got some. I've been foraying into some basketball stuff again. These are super comfy. PG5s.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What are these?
Paul George.
These are the Metcon 7s. I think that's what I got here. Steve Rose says he wishes that he could rent an Obsessed Garage wash bay in the winter. It sucks having salt on the car and freezing temps all week long.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you got to pack up and move, man.
Malcolm S. says, I recall in one of the house vlogs, you had a specific lighting solution for the hallways, kitchen, and various areas of the house. What bulbs were those?
Well, there's going to be 2 or 3 different versions of it. We actually had a multi-hour meeting with Cree and DMF, our representative there today, and on the lower end side, we're taking a commercial fixture and bringing it inside, and that's a Cree CR6T. So we'll have those in stock in all color temps. I'm not going to stock the 2700. I'm going to stock 3000, 3500, 4000, and then I'm trying to convince them to keep making a 5000 because we'd need a 5000 Kelvin fixture for the garage. You wouldn't want 5K in your house, but you want 3 or possibly 3500. I've been appreciating 3500 Kelvin better. That color temp is a little bit better, and if you have whites and grays in the house. So those lights are going to be somewhere around $30 a piece, something like that. And then the other version will be DMF. No, those are going to be in a retrofit package, probably somewhere around $100 per light. Now these are 50,000 hour, multi decade long lasting bulbs. But those are going to be the 2, and then we're going to have some in between. Those will be further out in the future. In possibly Cree CDR fixtures, which are color selectable, so you can go select the switch, which would be nice. You can kind of play with it, but I think you want to stay away from like these color shifting bulbs and stuff like that. It's one of those things that I think that they just the quality of light isn't as good, and they tend to lose their Wi-Fi connectivity, like Philips Hue, a Cree Connected Max. There's some other Amazon ones that I wouldn't recommend. So we're gonna have those for either the house, and lights are lights, so they apply to the house, the garage, and then we'll also have some other higher end 0 to 10 volt solutions that need a special pack to dim. So that stuff is coming, but I'm gonna have a full suite for you, both inside the house and the garage, and largely exterior. It's such a great spot, there's such great stuff out there, but it's not a great spot to try to get involved because they just don't make it public. They don't share the information. I'm gonna share it.
All right, we got a super chat here from Will W, $5 US. Do you need another Mike F on the team? I'm ready to move to Florida. A+ Pro here. Great at all things tech, IT, audio, TV, systems installs, Milwaukee nerd.
Yep, I'll pay you $22,000. Come on over.
There you go.
$22,000 a year, and you're in.
And that's twice what he gave Mike. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good deal.
Neil White says, "Hey Matt, do you have any plans to test out new battery-powered pressure washers?"
As they become available, yeah, I will. I'm hoping the Ego comes out with one soon. That would be legit.
All right, back to the question about the brake lubricant here. Provided some more details. For metal contact points when doing a brake job, not slide pins.
Yeah, I don't know that you always use that red stuff, but even that, I don't know that's really all that necessary anymore, at least not with any of my cars. But I that was a big thing back in the day. You'd have to do that so you didn't squeak. But I don't know.
All right, David D says his car is covered with salt. It's too cold to use the hose. I have my keys rinseless. The question is, should I run the car through a brushless car wash first to get as much salt off before attempting to do the rinseless wash?
Well, if I was going to do that, I would want to run it through, just go to a quarter car wash and, spray it. But it's cold.
Yeah.
That stinks. If it were me, I'd be getting some hot water thing set up.
All right, John says, I have a question. I have to keep my Stinger outside. I have no carport, basically no protection. How would you remove snow from the car and or prep the car for snow? Might be getting 2 feet overnight tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd leaf blower it for sure. I'd be doing an ego blower, blowing that thing off. And, it might be beneficial to blow it off in stages so that way it's easier to get off. And then you just start the car up and let it melt off.
Yes, Sirski says, hey, Matt, I got my truck coated with Ceramic Pro. The guy who did it told me that he doesn't recommend using a topper and to let the coating do the work. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you want to top it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He just doesn't want you using like waxes and stuff because you're going to mess it up. If you use the right kind of topper, then like the Obsessed Garage drying aid will work fine on it. Or Bead Maker or Dream Maker, those would work fine on it. So would most of the other spray silicon dioxide sealants.
All right, Enthusiast 2024 says, hey, Matt, can we get an update on your crypto venture? I recall you making a purchase, but haven't heard anything since. Curious where you stand on the crypto bro thing today.
Yeah, I don't have a crypto venture. I took $25,000 and I bought 50% Bitcoin and 50% Ethereum. To me, I don't look at Bitcoin. It's not an investment to me. It's a do you adopt it or do you not? And if you adopt it, you should understand. You should have a wallet. It's kind of like, do you believe in the banking system? You go get a checking account. You would have a checking account. You would have a savings account. Same thing. So that's how I look at it. As I put $25,000 in an account. I am interested in NFTs in the future for Obsessed Garage and mainly just as a way for us to stay for me and people that are watching, for us old men to stay relevant. And it is rather interesting to me, the idea of minting or creating a using the blockchain to create a to create something unique, to create something that has a numbered or a certain number to it. And I think that there is a potential. The thing that I'm struggling with is how would you use that outside of art? If you're not an artist. And what would that be? And so I've never been interested in speculative anything, and so I'm not speculating. I'm just wondering, is it adopted? Is this something that we adopt, or is it not? Those that are using this as a long-term investment, I mean, if there is adoption and it does become a standard decentralized currency, then certainly it would appreciate value if they like Bitcoin's numbers are limited. But yeah, I don't have any intention of spending any time or effort on it outside of accepting it as a currency in the store, and then possibly figuring out how we would then create some sort of NFT around some branded products that we can create digitally, because it seems pretty clear to me that the next generations that come, which doesn't make sense to us. Like, if you ever watched the episode of Hoarders, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want all this junk, right? I mean, that's an extreme example of people acquiring things. Well, digital real estate, it may not make sense to us why someone would want to own something. A young person would want to own something that's like a digital piece of art or a digital play in basketball. Why would anybody want to have that? But why would anybody want a Cabbage Patch card? Why would anybody want a Pokemon card? What is the point of that? It has no real tangible use, but yet it has value. And so it seems pretty clear to me that as we transition to a continued symbiosis with things online, that why wouldn't you want assets there as well? And so having digital assets is something that seems ridiculous if you're 30 years old or older, but maybe future generations value what they have in their digital wallet or their digital house that they purchased, their spot in the metaverse, that becomes of value. And if you're not at least if you're not interested in speculation, you just pay attention to some extent. And so one of the beauties of the ridiculousness of the speculation around blockchain induced or blockchain created currencies is the frenzy and the potential to get rich off of it is what is very likely going to create the validity around it. And then the decentralization of finance in the future could eliminate countries as we know it, and then we don't have goofy things like what's happening in Canada and Australia. You don't have goofy things that like what's happened in California and Michigan, where you have this overreach by the dumbest people in society, which are running the thing. So anyway, it's really interesting to me, but not interesting enough for me to really become an expert or to chase it. Cree lights are much more interesting to me. But the notion that I could be advised on it in the future and at least have a basic sense is interesting to me.
We have a super chat here from G2G Family, $5 US. Hey guys, Travis here, South LA. First, I got my Active Ultimate OG package and I love it. Second, I'm looking at booking Destination OG. I think he's talking about the Smokies trip. Any plans for each day? Thanks. I think he's maybe referring to the Smokies trip in May. I'm wondering if there's any plans for those.
I don't know. I'm not in charge of that one. My plan is to hopefully get there and hopefully drive. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. I mean, the cool thing about the events in the mountains, it's you go and you drive, and you don't have to have, like, you get in groups. If let's say there's 30 people there, there'd probably be 3 or 4 groups. So you just kind of buddy up with it. It happens very organically, very naturally. Every road there is great, and you don't have to make like an itinerary. You just kind of make a loose, hey, here's where we're going to go. We can point out some of the roads. Usually there's somebody that leads that's a little better driver and a little fat, and knows the roads, can drive them a little faster, because the hardest position is to be out front.
All right, we got a super chat from Yoshi, $9.99. When can we have Jeff sub in for Chris for a podcast?
We could do that. I don't think he would want to do that.
Keep contributing money to Yoshi, and we'll think about it a little more. Lewis, our own Lewis Martin Jr. says, how is Matt's Jordan collection coming along? Shame on you, Lewis.
I only have one pair, and I have the purples. So I bought my dead stock pair. So I have one pair that is not worn, and the other pair that may be worn occasionally.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Lewis is so excited that you're now maybe getting back down that rabbit hole of shoes.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm doing it because it's kind of fun, and I'm just really going to make $200 on a pair of shoes. I'd be much better off spending my time, focused on, launching Lutron Vive and teaching people about that than I would jerking around. But I like shopping. I like shoes. I like looking at shoes in my cabinet, and so it's time for me to start playing with it again.
All right, Mitchell Chambliss says, which do you think is the better investment? 991.2 GT3 RS Wysock or 992 GT3? Both seem to be around $275,000 to $300,000, but I don't think the 992 GT3 will hold at that value.
Yeah, neither. I think it's too soon for those cars, and they made too many of them. The 997 GT3 is the investment. The 991 and beyond, they've made thousands of them, 3,000-4,000 of them. So it's not an investment at this point. I think that the probability would be that they will be worth less 5 years from now than they are today. But maybe 15 years from now they'll be worth what they're worth today. But who knows? If they stop making them and there's only 10, 15,000 GT3s in existence of all model years, maybe they all hold value substantially.
All right, Will W., who wants to come work here, he accepted your offer via chat here. He says, send over the contract, $22,000. Jay Nakayama says, when you recommend garage lighting, Kelvin/lumens, do you make a universal system for those that work on vehicles under the hood, or do you still just supplement that with another under-hood light?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do about that. If it's coming from overhead, the only thing you could do is make sure that your countertop is lit. and you'll have 180 degrees or so, 165 degrees of light dispersion that way. So you're still going to supplement. They get the scan grip underhood light. I think it's much better than the Milwaukee. It is much better than the Milwaukee light. And so when you're under the hood, most of the time, like I'd say 75% of the time, I don't find the need to have any kind of lighting if I'm just doing something in the front of the air, like mess with the intake or something like that. And then occasionally, if you're really digging into headers or something, then you would probably want to add some supplemental light. But if we do it right and we get some decent amount of light and really good dispersion in the garage, again, most of the time you're not going to do it.
All right, let's see. C-Mac wants to know, have you seen the Uniden R8 on Vortex radar? Seems like an incremental upgrade and kind of uglier.
No, I hadn't taken a look at it.
A couple people asked about that, the R8.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Redenso to come out with the AI platform, but the Redenso guy was here a couple weeks ago and he said, yeah, it's not, we're not close.
Another super chat from Yoshi, $9.99 US. He's stumping for Jeff again here. You should let Jeff enter the burnout contest at BMW Invasion and the Le Mans M3.
Yeah, no.
He promises not to hit anything.
At this rate, the thing would explode or something. I gotta put that thing in a bubble. Can we buy a car capsule and then sell it when we get rid of the car? I need to put a bubble in it.
Stephen Ball wants to know, how much will the Dyne Audio price increase be?
I don't know. What is it? 10%? 8%?
I think it's something close to that. We also got an email today. It's in my Friday report. Belosi, so MTM products are going up 8.5% as of February the 10th.
Yeah, people,
so if you want anything below or MTM from our store between now and February 10th is the time to get it, because then it's going to go up 8.5%. Let's see. Let me get to this Instagram question from who was it? Oh, Nicholas. Hey, Matt and Chris, I'm sure this has been addressed before, but what solution do you have for the E36 as far as the shifter? Is the Dynan short shifter the way to go?
No, it's not. The Dynan is very incremental, and so what I did the UUC system. So the UUC shifter with the UUC shift, there's a shortened rod. I forget what it's called. And then there's a UUC package on Turner that you want to get. That's what I got. It's really mechanical. It's really pretty nice.
Hayden asked a question on Instagram. I'm going to rephrase it so it makes sense here. Which car did you prefer on the track, GT3 RS or the M3? E92 M3?
Yeah, the GT3 is way more. It's just easier to manage. The M3 is fine, but it sounds really great. But the GT3 is just like it's like telepathic.
That's a pretty sweet car. All right, he was asking about the GT4, but that did not make it to the track.
No,
It was the GT3 RS and the E92. Let's see. Here's a good question from Detached Garage related to the track. Have your thoughts about the future of the vehicle fleet changed since your track day, bro?
No. You guys have to remember, I've been to the track 10 or 12 times in my life. I just don't like it. It's just not. It's not for me, and I'm okay with that. That I like cars that are capable on the track, because that means that they're very capable on a road. Like a Raptor is very capable off-road, which makes it so much better on the road, I think. And it's just, it's just not. It's not my cup of tea. It's just not fun. Like I get why it's fun to some people, but it's just not my thing.
All right, question here on Instagram from Reasonable Paul. I'm looking for a home office chair and desperately need some input. Other than Herman Miller or Steelcase, what other brands do you think are worth looking at? What are your thoughts on mesh versus cloth versus leather?
Yeah, I don't really think there are many others. I just got a Steelcase yesterday from my OG desk over here. The human scale stuff, that one looks really pretty, but it doesn't function very well. I think Steelcase is the way to go. I don't think. I have those autonomous chairs on the cheap side. Those are great. But if you want something nice, then I think you've got to go Steelcase. Herman Miller's, I don't know why. Maybe it just reminds me of finance so much. It's probably why I don't want one. But that would be sort of the standard, I think.
Yeah, all the guys next door in the arm building have the autonomous chairs. That might be worth looking into. Let's see. Matt, are you going to ceramic coat the HTC trailer? Europa wants to know.
I don't know. Probably not. That's a giant thing. We're going to wrap it and probably just leave it alone.
All Let's see. This is from Dragger168. I guess he watched your E92 drive video. Hey, Matt, how do you keep your cool when so many people were pulling out in front of you? Here in Phoenix, people will tailgate, flip off, cuss, or cut off the person who pulled out. Lots of people here do that too, Dragger. But
I'm just happy to be on the road, and I just don't. I mean, that my problems have, humbled me to the point of, outside of things that just don't make any sense at all. I just don't get wound up like I did when I was younger. I just feel grateful to be able to go out on the road and people get in my way, and sometimes I'll go around them if I'm feeling good, and other times I don't.
Yeah, I noticed that in the video too. It seemed like every time you got going, it's like, okay, here comes a truck. Pulling out in front of you.
It's unbelievable. And the other thing I've learned is I aspire to have that bit of, it's just totally ambivalent, right? And just not give a crap. And I'm just going to pull out, and I'm going to go whatever speed I was going to go, regardless of how much I'm impeding someone else's path. And they can just go around me. If I could just get to that Zen-like state, then I'd be able to go wherever. I would be able to drive to Kansas if I wanted to.
Kyle Jackson in the chat says, big love to you, Matt, for all the work you put into all this content. I'm getting ready to buy the Crenzo 1322.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for power, a generator or a power inverter?
I think you could get away with a generator. I mean, he must be talking about doing mobile. You just need a good 5,000 watt generator to run that sucker, 4,800 watts plus. But I think I would do a generator. A power inverter, from what I understand, has a battery, right? And so I just don't know how much use you'd get out of it with that.
All right, Yasirski's in the market for a new wheel barrel brush. Mm-hmm. Do you recommend the Microfiber Madness Incredibrush Flat or the Detail Factory one?
I think... Wait, which is the one we have? Is it Detail Factory?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That one's terrible, but what you need to do is modify it. So I think the best of both worlds is you buy the Detail Factory brush, buy a Microfiber Madness cover, you cut the tip off the Detail Factory, and you slide or put the Microfiber Madness pad over top of it. Because the problem with all other microfiber cleaning like pads is that they're all microfiber. The Microfiber Madness is not. It's heavily wool supplemented with microfiber, and so you want the stiffness. I just like the handle better of the Detail Factory. Costs you a little bit more, but you're going to throw away the Detail Factory cover because it's garbage, and use the Microfiber Madness one. But you have to modify it because it's a little too long for the Microfiber Madness to fit.
We do have the Incredibrush Flat cover in the store on its own. You don't have to buy the whole Incredibrush.
Correct.
You just buy the cover. Let's see. Hey, Matt, do you have a recommendation for a ceramic coating to use in an engine bay that will hold up to hot turbo parts? From Jeff Smith.
I don't know of any. Actually, I take it back. The Dr. Beasley's is rated for like 1,800 degrees or something. So you use the Dr. Beasley's metal coat, but only on metal. I don't know what you do with the rest.
Let's see. Rob's Mobile Detailing says, hey, Matt, do you still have your order out there for the Ford Transit?
Yes. Supposedly it's being produced right now.
Yeah, that's still a month or two out. Jay Weathers says, hey, Matt, the Silverstone F80 M3 is ready for the wash and drive. I have Auto Solution Short Shifter, also on KW Club Sports, a 305 MP4's rear with steel braided brake lines. It's dialed in now.
Have you gotten the active auto work mid-pipe? That's key. But yeah, I'd love to drive that thing in the wash and drive. We've got that was the other benevolent purpose of renting the track, was to get our process dialed. Wait till you see some of the roller footage we got. That's why I bought the red camera. That's why we bought all the stabilization, the Ronin. So we have all the equipment now to run on the van when it comes. Bryce has been kind enough to use his truck to drive, but the goal would be to use our van. Occasionally we're going to create like a scheduling board for the van, who gets to use the van and when. Well, we only have one of them. So that'll be our lead. That's why I got the 3.5 liter. Maybe we need to tune that thing.
All right, let's see. Dragger168 wants to know, will buying a Hex Plus membership give us entries for the E92 giveaway?
I hope so. I didn't clarify that, but it should.
Yeah, that it always has in the past. So
yeah,
we'll double check and make sure. Our buddy Martin at Alligator Window Tent says, just have Rex coat the trailer. Don't tell him that was my suggestion. That would take a while. Hey, Matt. This is from Hard Nougat. What mechanical keyboard are you using with your MacBook setup that you showed in your most recent house tour video?
I screwed this up. I don't know if did I explain this in the last one. So I ordered a Keychron.
Yeah. Did you get the clicky-clacky one?
Mm-hmm. So it asks you what keys you want. What color keys? I'm like, blue. Of course blue. Mm-hmm. It's like brown, blue, and orange or something like that. I'm like, well, I don't like that orange button on the key, so I want a blue one. So it asks you what color keys you want. And so at least I thought that's what it meant. Well, so I ordered the ones that are crazy click-clack, and I freaking hate it. I got to order another one. But I don't like this keyboard. I just like the freaking flat keyboard, the Mac keyboard.
Yeah, that's what I use. The guys next door all like those clicky-clacky keyboards. But Robert got one that doesn't clicky-clack, and it's also a Keychron, so you might want to ask him. I don't know. Let's see. One last question. This is from John. Plan on putting a ceramic coat on the Stinger this spring. What is the best consumer-grade coating? The one we carry, John.
Yeah, CSL XO is my favorite by far. We made some headway with Stuart at G-Technic about the bike care line, which I'm really excited about that. So we will hopefully be helping to sort of launch in the U.S. the G-Technic bicycle care line, which is going to be awesome, I think.
Let's see. Jay Weathers follows up. He says, Matt, I have ARM catted downpipes, Fab Seed mid-pipe, and M Performance exhaust on his, whatever he said, Silverstone F80M tank.
So he's fart crazy then.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
And when is that starting? What's the, someone was asking when the washing.
I don't know. Soon. I think we're about ready.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, I'd say, March or April, hopefully we'll start launching. The goal will be to do 2, highly produced wash and drives a month, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Your buddy TJB says, hey, Chris, thanks for honoring a difference in opinion, not banning me from chat. Have a good weekend.
There's no difference of opinion here. There's just simple logic. Like, I don't give a crap about any of this political nonsense. Why would you close your country? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you require to take something that doesn't frickin' work to go somewhere? It's so stupid. And why would we allow the dumbest people in society to be making all these decisions? They're bought and sold. Just freaking common sense. There needs to be a gosh darn revolt of logic. God dang it. Morons. I hate the whole thing. It's so stupid. Don't tell me what to do. It's like my HOA on steroids. That's Canada. Canada is now my HOA. Like, could be so great, our rails could be great. Canada is, I think it's, I've never been there, but I think it's great. I love the people. These people seem like they're my kind of people. Although they don't yell and scream like I do. They just submit, I guess. I don't know how that works. Or do you just kind of keep your mouth shut?
I think you do what you want, just don't say anything.
That's what I've been doing forever. I just keep my mouth shut and do whatever I frickin' want to do. But at some point, the rational, intelligent people have to speak up. Because it's freaking insane. Just like you should pivot at this point instead of doing let's wear a mask everywhere we go. What is that going to do? God dang it! It's so stupid. I want to go to the Florida Home Show. I don't have to take some test. I don't want to. What is a test going to do? I could catch it from here to there. I just want to go there and look for some freaking zip R sheathing and look for some cool stuff. Why do I got to have this whole rigmarole process of showing my papers to go to a show to buy stuff? How about what with your freaking papers? What are we doing?
Rigmarole.
You're going to wear some freaking piece of cloth. So I'm going to go in a building with 50,000 people, all mouth breathing, through a piece of paper. What is that going to do? Is it going to protect me from anything? So I either choose to go or not go. Now I got to choose to go get my freaking nose swabbed or something, which I'm going to freak out about.
That goes way up there. I don't know if you've had.
I don't think they do that anymore, do they? If they do that, then I'm not doing it. It's just not worth me. The reason why I'm not getting freaking shots is because I can't handle. I can't. If it was right, if you give me a needle, like if I'm getting a needle, it better do something. That not this up in the air, like because I'm about to change my whole life to go get a needle,
right?
And I got to get it 3 times, maybe 4. That's like 4 traumatic life events for something that doesn't even frickin' work. It's crazy to me. That's not political. This is just common real life sense. God dang it. What are we doing in this world? So let's stop the world. It's crazy to me. I just can't believe we're still doing this. And not even are we doing it, it's getting worse. Oh my God.
There you go, TJB. You have a good weekend as well. Hope you enjoyed that mini rant. Let's see. Hey, Matt and Chris. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Skagman18. I'm the guy who reached out recently about buying Emit 50s.
Oh, yeah.
I just Dirac tuned them last night, and they're friggin' great. Thanks for all the help, Matt.
Yep. They're so good.
Yasirski says, OMG, you got the blue switches. Those are the loudest ones.
I know, it's terrible. It's as dumb as having to frickin' show some papers to go to the Florida Builder Show or the International Builder Show.
Jay Weather says it sounds amazing with the burbles deleted. He claims the burbles are deleted.
Okay, that's good.
It doesn't.
There's no way it sounds amazing.
No farts, I promise.
You better be prepared for a lot of crankiness.
Good stuff. Dr. Phil back again. He says, I jumped into the podcast at just the right time. Yes, you did. Welcome.
I'm going to get canceled for saying frickin' logical things.
When can we expect the Rigmarole merch to drop? Good idea. I like that.
Oh, boy.
Good times.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
God help me. I just want to go look for some frickin' cool stuff. I want to look for some cool stuff at a show. And you freaking Canadians are the ones that's messing it up for all of us.
All right, let's see. I think that's it for questions. Oh, I need to thank whoever. I need to go back and look. A couple weeks ago, somebody suggested these pants.
Yeah. Did you buy some?
Yeah, I bought some. These things are awesome.
Yeah.
Delta Stretch 2.1. They're Vertex, VERTX. Delta Stretch. So I'm wearing them today for the first time.
Yeah.
So, small sample size one day, but they're pretty incredible. I like them so far. I have to go buy some more.
That's cool.
I think you would like these. They're a little bit heavier than the ones that you got your like snowboarding or whatever kind of.
New policy, Chris.
What's that?
Obsessed Garage car event. You've got to show your papers. I want you to have all the stuff, everything, whatever that is. Have everything, so that way we can be protected from the trees. The trees are going to get us.
There you go.
See you guys later. I'm not talking about this ever again. I just got whatever his name, TLC or whatever his name was, got me all freaking fired up.
TJB, TLC.
Oh gosh, why do you do this to me?
That's funny.
It's just common sense. I have such a hard time when we just can't use some freaking common sense. Oh.
All right, so we will be back next week, same time, same place. Looking forward to catching up with you all then. Thanks for supporting us. We will check in next week. Yeah,
See
Vertex.
You. See you.
Vertex
later.
pants.